The World Baseball Classic starts today. Which team has the early advantage? John Morant is away from the team, and we'll tap into why that is. The deadline is here for franchise tag, who got him, and what's next for the players that didn't. A lot is going down. It's that time. Theme music, please. Welcome to the Unbiased Podcast, where we take an unbiased look into the biased world of sports. But y'all know there's more than one side of the story. So I need my homies to help me out. Got Ty, got Cam. What's good, fellas?
Yo, yo, yo.
What's going on, guys?
Yeah,
Cam
man,
Collins.
how you living? Yes, sir.
So let's start right here in the Big Easy. The Saints head coach Dennis Allen reunites with the quarterback he had a hand in drafting as Derek Carr agrees to a 4-year deal with the Saints. Now, Carr has never had a top 15 defense in his 9-year career. The Saints has had a top 10 defense scoring-wise the last 3 years. So, Cam, let's start it off. Are the Saints now the team to beat in the South?
I think yes and no. And I only say that because we don't know what's happening in the draft yet. I think the draft will after the draft will be a little bit easier to answer that. But as of right now, the Saints. I mean, look, man. I mean, I play them twice a year, bro. I mean, I've been watching the Saints just demolish us year in, year out. So I know the defense, man. You know, they got really good defense, really good team. You know, with Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas, Jarvis Landry, Tyrann Mathieu, Cam Jordan. You know, this is a good squad, man. But it is, as of last year, this is the oldest team in the NFL. So I think that is also going to play a part into this draft and who they're getting, who they're not. As of right now, though, I'm going to say yes, mainly because the Falcons, need so much, man. Like in every aspect, we need everything. Carolina, I don't see them doing anything. I see Carolina being the bottom next year, and then Tampa Bay. We'll see what happens with Tom Brady not being there and Kyle Trask taking over. But I think this is a really good team. But on the other side of that, last year you had Derek Carr threw for 3,522 yards, 24 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. The Saints in general threw for 3,969 yards, 24 touchdowns, and 14 interceptions. So, I guess it kind of depends on the defense at this point. We know that Derek Carr can play. Again, what you said, he hasn't had a top 10 defense, since he's played. So I think that him going there, he might actually get something going. New quarterback can do anything to a team, man. So as of now, yeah, they are the team to beat.
Say that again?
I said, as of right now, they are the team to beat in the South.
Not you, Ty.
You know, who the Saints? What? They got Derek Carr now? Okay, so who's going to throw the ball to? Alvin Kamara? And then what? Because that's the only person going to throw the ball to. That's the only person on the team. So I want to know, yeah, they might got a better chance of being maybe number 1 or number 2 in the South. But I don't know if Derek Carr is going to make that big of a difference. I just don't.
I think he's automatically. So if we go into the projected starting quarterbacks of the South, with Derek Carr signing and the sources saying that Lamar Jackson will not be pursued by at least the Atlanta Falcons. So
Mhm.
they're going to the draft. They're going to camp with Desmond Ritter as a quarterback. Who knows? They might make some splash with uh, Anthony Richardson or Will Levis because I doubt that Stroud or Bryce Young will be on the board. But so for all intents and purposes, they're going to the season with Desmond Ritter as a quarterback, and then there's Kyle Trask and Sam Darnold, maybe Matt Corral. I don't know. Maybe they bring back PJ Walker. I don't know. Maybe the Panthers go after Lamar. I don't know. But right now, as it stands, Derek Carr is the best quarterback in that division. So, and he hasn't won a playoff game yet. So Derek Carr is 63-81 on his overall record, but he had 6 different head coaches in 9 years. So, and one of those guys being Dennis Allen, he's more of a mature coach and he understands Derek Carr's ability. So I like their chances in the South because it's going to be a very weak division once again. I think that 8 wins can get them into a formidable playoff spot. It's not going to be anything on the defense. They're returning all their defensive players. So this is going to be on Derek Carr. Or maybe we can see if Michael Thomas want to restructure his contract. Alvin Kamara, he's still dealing with some off-the-field issues, so we don't know what's going on there. So, but I still think, as it stands, by default, Derek Carr and the Saints have an easy track to the playoffs.
You
Just win a
haven't sold.
division.
You haven't sold me at all. Just let you
I
know.
don't know if I was supposed to sell you because the starting quarterback are Desmond Ritter, Matt Corral, or Sam Darnold, and Kyle Trask. So Derek Carr, he's thrown for 4,000 yards in multiple seasons. So he's the Raiders' all-time leader in passing yards and passing TDs. So that's the good. The bad comes with he's thrown 14 picks twice in the
Come and
last two
talk to me.
seasons.
And
So
81 losses as a starting quarterback.
Whew.
that comes
Hey,
with
and
6
how many
different
how
head
many
coaches.
playoff
See,
games he won?
that comes with 6 different head coaches, and like one of those head coaches was John Gruden. Come on
Yeah,
now, let's not do that.
bro, look at how these contracts are though with coaches, man. They don't win. They don't start winning halfway through a season, and they're like, all right, yeah, well, you're fired. You're not gonna be here by the end of the season. I mean, that's also, I don't know, man. I mean, I
That's
think that
tough.
coaches can come in. Coaches can come in and make an impact. I mean, look at what the Jaguars did this year.
Yeah.
No, a
So
coach makes a difference.
coaching can make a difference. But at some point, man, I mean, when you have an offense that of Devonte Adams, Darren Walker, Darren Waller, Mac Hollins, Josh Jacobs, Hunter Renfro. I mean, I don't know, man. Not saying that Derek Carr hasn't done his thing in Oakland because obviously he has, but I don't know, man. I kind of feel like he could have done a little bit better. I mean, I can't blame everything on the defense, and I can't blame everything on coaches. I've seen Derek Carr make some stupid ass decisions and make some
Mhm.
stupid plays, bro. So, but I mean, back to your point though. I mean, him being the most experienced quarterback in the South, a lot of young guys in there. I mean, I think it really is just they're going to be the team that leads the South.
Yeah, it
It's a
just seems
possibility.
easy for these guys because
Right.
it's a decent team around him. I like Chris Olave. Michael Thomas, he just needs to stay there. Then the defense is formidable. Cam Jordan, Demario Davis. Then you got Marshawn Lattimore. These guys, they got everybody on each end, the defensive line, in the middle, and on the back end on defense. Top 5 defense. They just need Carr to go out there and not lose them the games. And Mind you, this was a squad that was only a game out of the playoffs last year, and that was with Andy Dalton. So Derek Carr is definitely an upgrade from Andy Dalton.
Hey, I'm just saying, bro. Andy Dalton had 18 touchdowns, 9 interceptions last year. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, bro. It happens. I'm just saying. Not saying Andy Dalton's the best quarterback ever, but you know, he's all right. He's all right.
we
Hey,
we
we're
not
gonna see
we
Derek Carr.
we'll see. We got some other quarterback news to get to later, but for now, let's go ahead and it's time to keep it a buck. Let's do it. So in the NBA, there's been a surplus of scoring. There's been two 71-point scorers, Damian Lillard, Donovan Mitchell, respectively, this season. There's been multiple 60-point games. And on Sunday alone, there was a record 18 different players who surpassed 30 points. Not to mention, yesterday, Embiid scored 40 for the 11th time this season to tie with Donovan Mitchell, who scored 40 points of his own. So, Ty, let's keep it a buck. Why are these players just scoring at will?
Man, because anybody playing on defense. Nah, I mean, it's not that nobody's playing defense, but like, uh, it's all about offense right now. So everybody's focused on scoring. You know, you're like, if I can blow your team out, I ain't got to worry about playing defense so much. But it's not that teams don't play defense. I just think teams aren't focusing enough on defense. You know, I mean, there are certain teams that play defense great. You know what I mean? Boston, they play defense great. Even uh, with them boys, Sacramento, they play pretty good defense. But it it's just not enough sometimes. You know what I mean? Other teams got scorers too on their team now. It ain't just a league where your team has two all stars. It's a league where almost everybody has at least two all stars. So we're gonna be able to score. But I mean, people like Dame, how do you stop Dame? You know what I mean? He can pull up from anywhere. What you gonna do about that? Like, there's nothing you can do.
So is this the best scoring era ever? You got the let's just break it down for those who I don't know lived on a rock for the last 76 years. You got the 60s that was dominated by the bigs, Bill Russell, Will Chamberlain, those guys, and Bob Cousy and Jerry West. So you had those guys. You got the 70s that Pistol Pete, guys like Pistol Pete. You got Dr. J. You got guys that really in the late 80s. So, and I mean the early 80s, and then introduce um, that 83 to 93-ish round. We're talking about Larry Bird, talking about Michael Jordan. We're talking about Charles Barkley. I'm talking about scores, so I'm not going to mention Magic. We're talking about like scores, the scoring era, and then the late 90s with Shaq, Kobe, the late 90s, early 2000s with Shaq, Kobe, T-Mac, AI, some scores. Your scores. And then the next wave comes into play. You got Kevin Durant and Steph, LeBron. LeBron's a scorer in his own right, even though he looks to pass first. And now we're entering an era where Donovan Mitchell, Damian Lillard, Jason Tatum, Kevin Durant still in there, Devin Booker, Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving. It's just
Amen.
so. Are we in the best scoring era right now? Like, are the best bucket getters right now playing?
I I don't know if we in the best scoring era because I mean, stat wise, like points per game, like you get spurts where it's like crazy high, 180 points, like you know what I mean, and then you get games it's like 100 points, but like over time, it's been kind of the same kind of deal. You get high scoring games, you get low scoring games. But as far as the best bucket getters, absolutely, man. It's more of them than there were now. That's all it is. There's just a plethora of players who can go get buckets, and that's on the court at the same time. You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong. Back in the day, it was a lot of players, but now it's like every team's got like 3, 4 players that can go get you a bucket at any time if you need them to. You know what I mean? Like the Warriors, you can't stop them. They can go get you a bucket. You know what I mean? Boston, you can't stop them. They go get you a bucket. Philly, they go get you a bucket. It's what you need at any point in time. You can get it pretty much from any team.
Yeah, and I think that with this era, it's because of course when we talk about that Kobe and T Mac era with AI, you knew that it was certain. It was probably those guys, and I'm definitely missing some names, but don't
Mm-hmm.
charge to my head. But I'm definitely missing some names, but you know that those guys are all right, cool. But there were instances where, man, this dude came off the bench and scored 50 points. Like, what the heck? De'Aaron
Mm-hmm.
Fox not De'Aaron Fox. Um, Malik Monk came off the bench and scored 42 that night that they scored
Mm-hmm.
176 points. And then
Mm-hmm.
there's Mikael Bridges. He wants to score. He's a walking bucket since he went over to Brooklyn. And with multiple scores like the Mavericks have, Luka and Kyrie, and like Phoenix have, and D Books, KD. It's just I think that
Mm-hmm.
this scoring era, this is a scores era. So like, um,
Mm-hmm.
all them other bucket getters from the past, they would love to be in this era.
Yeah, because you'll be getting it just be cash. Oh man, that'd be crazy. That'd be a good league.
Who's the best bucket getter right now?
That's tough, man. It's gotta be between Dame and probably Embiid. They just a walking bucket. You know what I mean? They can get it
Uh,
from anywhere on the court, and if you give it to Embiid in the post, it's more than likely going in. Like,
and Embiid currently leads the league in scoring, and Damian Lillard is sitting at fourth. So
hmm
now that we have captured the buck and we talk about bucket getters, we're gonna get back into the NBA. We talk about John Morant later into the show, but now let's enter Cam's corner. So let's talk about it. Today starts the World Baseball Classic. Kicks off tonight as the Netherlands will be up against Cuba. Me personally, I don't even know why that was the starting game. I just think Cuba's going to slaughter them, but that's for another story. The U.S. is in Group C, and their games will be played here on U.S. turf in Phoenix, Arizona, with the quarterfinals beginning next week. So, Cam, let's have a convo. Which group play game are you looking forward to the most?
I actually got two of them, man. So the first one, I think anybody from the USA, they want to see USA and Great Britain. Let's go ahead and get another win real quick. No, I'm just playing. That's not really one of them. But yeah,
Hell
they
no.
uh, any US game is gonna obviously it's gonna be a great game. I'm gonna look forward to any of those. But no, the two games I'm looking forward to outside of the US. Um, the first game, Dominican Republic and Venezuela on March 11th, and then on the 12th, Venezuela and Puerto Rico. Um, all three teams are just stacked. They're stacked. Um, Venezuela's got Jose Altuve, Eduardo Escobar, Ronald Acuna, David Peralta, Miguel Cabrera. Dominican Republic, Juan Soto, Julio Rodriguez, Manny Machado, Rafael Devers, Robinson Cano, and I got a notification right before we started about Vladdy, bro. They're saying that he could possibly be back out after the pool stage, which would be huge for Dominican Republic.
Mm.
Um, and then Puerto Rico. I mean, we talked about it, man. Yachty being the coach, man. I love Yachty. Always watched him. Probably one of my favorite catches of all time. Um, Javier Baez, Francisco Lindor, Eddie Rosario, and Martin Maldonado. All big names. Some of these guys have been around the game a long time. Um, but I would really want to see that if Vladdy was playing, it would be that Dominican Republic and Venezuela game. But since he's not, I mean, it's kind of a toss up between the two. A lot of good teams, man. And yeah, I don't know why the first game is Cuba and the Netherlands. That I don't know who wants to start out the baseball classic with a game like that. No clue.
No clue at all. That's like y'all just threw up some names and said, "All right, let's do it, fellas."
Yeah, exactly.
They pulled names out of a hat and said, "All right, fuck, Netherlands and Cuba, let's do it." No, I agree. I'm definitely looking forward to those games. I'm looking forward for March 12th. U.S. goes against Mexico. I think Mexico has a sleeper team, actually. Of course, I like Venezuela and I like Puerto Rico, but I think Mexico's team can make some noise. Um, they got Julio Jerez as their pitcher and Taiwan Walker. So I like their bullpen, and I think that they're going to give the U.S. a run for their money, which will in turn will put the rest of the teams on notice. But I think Mexico will be a sleeper. But I definitely I want to see that Dominican Republic, Venezuela, um, Venezuela, Puerto Rico, and if Vlad comes back after the pool stage, it's not even fair.
Exactly, man. If everyone stays healthy and he comes back, they they might win that. They might win it all,
Win the whole thing.
and
I
they
don't
just
know
might.
because I don't know. He had a shoulder injury, right?
Knee injury.
Knee injury. That's right. Yeah. I don't know. I still like um, Venezuela and the U.S. as the favorites to. But I could see it definitely if Vlad comes back and hitting it the way Vlad can hit it. So then these guys, especially who playing in the league, they might not even bring their toughest game, but I don't know. It's especially with the season starting right around the corner. But these
Yeah.
guys are athletes. These guys are athletes we're talking about. They better be fighting for their country. U.S. better not go out there and BS. Any sleeper teams for this World Baseball Classic? I gave you mine with Mexico. Do you have any?
Sorry, man. My computer kind of messed up. What was the question?
Any sleeper teams with this baseball classic? I gave you mine with Mexico. Did you have any?
If I had to pick one, I would probably say, I mean, maybe Canada. I mean, with having Freddie Freeman for the Braves, man, I know he's with the Dodgers now, but I mean, with Freddie playing for them, having Freddie Freeman on the team can do a lot. Just having him on the team can do a lot. Um, but yeah, I think Canada could. They probably could. Colombia might be able to do something as well. Um, yeah, those would probably be one of those two.
Man, the Major League Baseball has a lot of international talent. The same thing with the NBA. So it's going to be great to see it. I can't wait to see an actual American football World Classic. I don't know how long they would. I don't know how they would put that together, but I know they can.
Yeah, that would be pretty sweet.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He's talking about nah. All right, so let's switch gears here and let's get into it. John Morant is the face of the Memphis Grizzlies and part of the new youth movement in the NBA. So during the offseason, the two-time All-Star signed a 5-year, $195 million contract extension. He has since been the subject of multiple probes this year, including an incident in Indiana where his camp were accused of pointing red laser at some folks out there their game against the Pacers. Now, there's this latest incident where he's on his own Instagram Live displaying what appears to be a gun. That's just what all the news outlets are saying, and it's my job as a journalist to say that what appears to be a gun. I can't make no assumptions, but we all saw what we saw. Look for it. But Morant is away with the team, and Coach Taylor Jenkins says there's no timetable for his return. So, Ty, talk to me. What's going on in Memphis?
Look like the worst day of their life right now, but because if he goes to jail, that's it. The face of y'all team is gone. That's it. And I really hope he don't go to jail. But I mean, what they say they're going to charge him with, he going to jail. That what they say, allegedly. Mm, But I sure hope he don't go.
Yeah. The first thing that came to mind whenever this whole gun thing happened, Cole, I'm sure that you'll remember this. Gilbert Arenas, he got in trouble, with a gun in the locker room, whatever, 50-game suspension. Um,
Mhm.
I think that's why, like, I'm pretty sure that was like the example where the NBA was like, oh, Gilbert Arenas got 50 games, so if we're gonna suspend him, that's gonna be the bare minimum, right? Um, but we've seen it in sports, man. Plexico Burris, man, he had a gun incident, shot himself, messed his career up. Did 2 years in jail for it. Never played football again, right? I don't know, man. I mean, Memphis. Sometimes, I mean, it's Memphis. I would probably carry a gun in Memphis, but I probably wouldn't take one
Absolutely.
on a team plane. You know what I mean? And be waving it around on my Instagram or anything. Not with that kind of money, dude. Like, bro, you're getting almost $200 million, and
So,
that's what we're doing.
so his deal can be if he makes the All NBA teams, first team All NBA, makes his All Star, gets MVP awards and these other accolades for the team, it could be worth up to $231 million. Uh, so, and the incident was in a Colorado nightclub. Now, Colorado is an open carry state,
Mhm.
but with the per, the the prohibitions that he had in his own NBA conduct, uh, like we said, it's automatic 50 games. It just if they, once the NBA does his investigation, finds out that the gun is owned by Morant, owned to Morant, and it was bought on that team flight, it gives him goodbye for the rest of the season and the first part of next year. Um,
Mhm. At least.
yeah,
It's tough.
I think this article is nothing else but clickbait. It was talking about jail time. I think that article is nothing but clickbait. Um, but we just gotta. Oh man, I get it. I get it. And I've seen all the reports and seen these guys on these various sports shows. He's 23 years old, but like at 23 years old, I didn't have $231 million that I could possibly have.
Exactly.
So you feel me? And you understand, Cam, because we were in. You feel me? We were in the military together. And they tell us every time we hit a port visit that we're ambassadors. So
Yeah.
John Morant knows that he's an ambassador of the league. There's no way
Right.
he doesn't know that. So I don't know. I don't know what was in his head that he just said, you know what, let me do this. When I got all this other heat around me, instead of just
Mhm.
staying cool, like, man, I ain't do none of that shit, man. Like they playing, they bogus.
Well, I mean, that's kind of what apparently Steven Adams called like a team meeting and said, "Hey, don't be going out and doing this shit. We got business to take care of, this and that, whatever, whatever." And he still went out and did it. So
Mhm.
I don't know, bro, because if that actually did happen, then Memphis, as just as an organization, your GM, your head coach, the owner, like, hey, this is the face of your organization right now. So it's time that, hey, we gonna have to sit down, we got to talk, and we gonna have to figure this out because you can't, bro. He is one of the he's one of the faces of the NBA right now. Like
Mhm.
not just us as like grown men watching this guy on TV being like, damn, John Morant. Like you got little kids looking up to you and stuff, man. Like you can't be doing stuff like that. I know I did stupid shit when I was 23 years old, but nah, man, not like that. I mean, that just don't make no sense to me.
That's
But I did,
asinine.
but I did find something that was funny, bro. I have to share this. So from an anonymous scout, the first time I met Ja was during his high school freshman year at camp. I went to tell him how impressed I was by his game, and he cut me off and said, "Where I'm from, nerds with clipboards get studs," and pulled his jersey to reveal a multicolored Lego Glock in his pants. He then sighed and said, "You're lucky this set doesn't come with a switch." Grabbed the basketball from under his arm, went up, did a dunk. The Lego gun fell and just shattered all over the court. And he said that he just like picked up his stuff and ran out. Bro, as a freshman, bro, that was.
Man, these people just, man, they
I want
give
to know who this
reporters like
anonymous.
myself, of course, anonymous scout. Of course, he's anonymous scout. They just give people like me. They give reporters just the weirdest name because that is some weird activity for you to just come out and say that now.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness! And if that
Mhm.
actually happened, Ja,
bro.
you weird too. But
He ain't
Like,
weird. That motherfucker dumb as hell.
no, that bitch is unusual. So like, I don't. No. Both parties are unusual for that. The reporter for even if it's true, like, bro, yeah, nobody need to know all that. Nobody
Shit.
know
bro,
all that.
the funniest thing from this has been that it was that video where they put the 8 Mile soundtrack on them and started pulling up they went to school and stuff, bro. That video was so funny.
Yeah. The internet has not let this man live, and I don't. He said he's gonna step away and get some help to work on how you're dealing with stress. So when you stressed out, you just go on IG. I got a gun, bro. That doesn't make any sense.
Shit. I,
That is the
he
most
might, he might,
ridiculous.
he might be going through what Kanye was going through. You know what I'm saying? He might be going through it.
He he
If
was just still in Memphis, bro.
Yeah,
if that type of money makes you go through that type of bullshit,
I still want
I need some of it. So I need to figure
it.
out how to, so I can figure out how to understand how to navigate through it. Because that doesn't
Mm,
make any sense to me. That doesn't make any sense to me. The because what should the league suspend John Morant?
absolutely.
100%. Yep.
And now that takes away a year from their championship window this year. Um, your first round exit at this point.
You possibly throw it out the way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, you're a first round exit at this point. In 50 games, there's only 17 games left. Um, well, the Memphis Grizzlies have 17 games left the regular season, and me, I would treat this just like you would. Let me break it down for you. If you get in trouble in well, in the Navy, anyways, you go on restriction. So, and I don't know how they did it on your ships, Cam, but on our ship, if we were out to sea, that did not count towards your restriction. So when we got back in port, so I don't care where the port was. Let's say the port was um, in Vietnam somewhere, right? You got to
Yeah.
stay on the ship and watch us have fun because
Yep.
you are on restriction. I think
Yep.
the same thing should apply here. I don't care how far they get in the playoffs. They can fuck around getting to the Western Conference Finals. So what? Don't none of that count. Regular season
Yep.
start back up. You did your first 17. You got 33 more when the regular season start back up. They gonna
Yep.
have to figure out how to be good without your ass.
Damn, you trying to hit him like that?
Yeah, nah.
Hey,
I bet you understand it then.
yeah, he got it. Yeah,
Yeah. I mean that's how it was on our ships too.
because that's some dumb shit. Like, bro, you make too much money to be flashing a gun, bro. Like at that point, bro, like he should have everything. Like, you know what I mean? He should be concealed, have a concealed carry. So ain't no point in you flashing it.
Right.
Like, what you?
And then you flash
It's,
that bitch ass gun.
right, a Lego block and some Legos.
Oh, he gonna find that bitch ass gun. Oh, man. I this is oh my goodness. I imagine when Chris Rock ended his last bit in his selective outrage comedy stand up special, I think that that's what he imagined. Like that bitch ass shit that he was talking about with Will Smith. That's that bitch
Yeah.
ass
Yeah.
gun that he flashed. Like, why you fly that bitch
Yeah.
ass gun?
Hey yo,
That little
go
weak
ahead.
ass gun. Oh, what was you trying to do with that? And then he was in the strip club with his shirt off. Bro, what you got going on?
Bro, these women do not love you. What are you doing?
I'll be them drugs, but
But y'all
drugs
drug
make
testing,
some weird
y'all drug
things.
testing Dame Lillard. That's crazy because he won get 71. And I
Right.
ain't saying nothing to this man. I'm not advocating. I'm just I hope that Ja's getting all the help that he needs and he's getting rid of whatever entourage he has. And you get rid of all of them because they not steering you in the right direction, man.
Mm.
Go
I'm
hang
just
out
saying,
with Steven Adams' entourage, bro.
Go hang out with some people with some money, bro.
bro. I'm just saying, Jock could give me like 50 grand a year, and I'll be his entourage.
Oh, I'd be your best friend.
Exactly. I I keep you from doing dumb shit, bro.
I promise.
That's easy. Hey, don't flash that bitch ass gun. Like, come on, man. Give me that. Give me that, man.
Like, hey,
No.
bro, what you want to do today? Go
Oh, bro,
fishing.
use this one.
Right. Like, bro. No, man. Stay off damn social media. You don't understand.
Yeah,
Oh,
for real.
man.
What you
Well,
want to do tomorrow? Go fishing.
now, as the story with John Morant develops, we will keep you guys posted here. Um, we just want to at the end of the day, all jokes being said, we'll make sure that he is definitely making the steps that he can and get back onto the court because he's one of the best. He's part of the youth movement. He's part of that movement with Luca and Booker and Jason Tatum. So and Donovan Mitchell. So these guys are the new faces of the league once um, the those guys, LeBron and those guys, hang it up. So they we just want him to put his head on straight, bro. Like we know you're 23 years old, but this money that you got is going to have to humble you and make you wiser than your years because it's 231 mil. I ain't throwing it away for nobody. Damn
I
that.
promise you. Ain't nothing in the world that can stop me from that.
Man, that's why I like what Jalen Rose said. On ESPN, he kind of talked about him being that young player, getting all this money, trying to do the gangster shit at a young age, being the guy with the gun, blah blah blah. So I don't know, man. I think Ja just needs to go ahead and talk to old talk to old Uncle Jalen real quick and see what's going on, man. Get some life advice for real, because like real
Yeah,
shit. I mean, I think that obviously a lot of stuff we see on TV is scripted. They have something that they got to talk about, this and that. I really think that Jalen Rose really like truly brought that from the heart, stuff like that. So I really think that Ja should at least reach out, man. I mean, it's not a bad conversation to have. At least see what Jalen Rose could do to help him, lead him in the right direction.
yeah. I mean, there's plenty of guys he can talk to. There's plenty of guys in the league he can probably talk to. You know what I mean?
True.
It's going to be about him making that first step. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because it's all about the community, and it doesn't matter what your profession is. We always have communities. Even with us being veterans, we have our community. So I still talk to guys I started with back from 2012, and then
Mhm.
there's with musicians, they got communities. There's multiple group chats. Hey man, hey, I need this. I need help with this. I need help with that. So and of course the NBA is this big community. So I don't understand why. Well, maybe he he's still young, so he really not trying to hear what the old heads got to say. But at this point in time, you're gonna have to call him up. You need to talk to Jalen Rose. You
Mm-hmm.
need to call. You need to probably not call Paul Pierce because I seen a tweet Paul Pierce was trying to defend. So Paul Pierce probably and you my dog. Truth, you my dog. But probably stay out this
He wasn't telling the truth that
one.
day.
Probably stay out this one. You feel me? John need to holler at Matt Barnes and Richard Jefferson and Jalen Rose and those guys. Lee Paul Pierce.
We Paul out.
Remember, Paul Pierce lost his job. You feel me? For doing stupid shit on social media. So don't listen to Paul Pierce.
Yeah.
They
But
man. We gonna follow in. We hoping the best. Just in case the suspension is in the immediate future for Morant, the Grizzlies. That is unfortunate because that I don't know that those guys have the talent around them to compete in such a competitive Western Conference. We're gonna come back to that as we get more news. But let's move on to the NFL before we get out of here. It's franchise tag deadline day. So
oh
let's
Lord,
just so let's just start. The Raiders tag Josh Jacobs, Jaguars tag Evan Ingram, Cowboys tag Tony Pollard, the Commanders tag Deron
mm,
Payne. The Ravens tag Lamar Jackson, and a surprise since Daniel Jones got his contract. Um, the Giants tagged Saquon Barkley. Now, players who didn't get tagged, um, nobody from the Eagles, and so they have some huge pieces on their secondary that might leave in free agency. The Chiefs failed to tag their guy Orlando Brown Jr., protecting Patrick Mahomes' blind side, and a big day payday for Daniel Jones, 4 years, $160 million. Not to mention 3 years and $105 million for Geno Smith. So, with all that being said, and these guys that have been tagged, which player contract negotiations are most important to the team? Cam, start with you.
I don't like the way you said team.
Mhm.
I think Josh Jacobs, man.
Oh man.
Hey, after what this guy does, man. I mean, he's got multiple 1,000-yard seasons. Coming off of over 1,600 yards this past season, 12 touchdowns. Uh, Receiving yards are going up every year. Literally every year, it's just more and more and more and more and more. So this guy can pretty much do it all. I think every year, as long as he stays healthy, he's able to produce over 10 plus touchdowns every season. Um, all 4 seasons that he's played, he's got 4,740 yards with 40 touchdowns. So, and that's not even playing every game. So, I mean, I think that's probably the biggest one. Um, I mean, I think he's going to have a massive contract. Um, I don't know if that's going to be from the Raiders or if it's going to be from someone else. But I think once he does end up getting a new contract, I think it's going to be a very big one. But to me, that's the biggest tag and most important one for his team. Yep.
Okay, I see that. I understand it. But I think with the addition of, well, you can look at his addition because he just got reinstated with the addition of Calvin Ridley into the offense and another year under this offense, and we've seen the leaps and strides that Trevor Lawrence took. He finally looked like that number one pick. I think Evan Ingram's contract is the most important to the team. So, and that's because Ingram was that security blanket that Trevor Lawrence needed. Now they paid Christian Kirk like a number one. He's not necessarily your prototypical number one. He produced. He put up numbers. Zay Jones put up numbers. Well, Evan Ingram had career high 73 receptions, 766 yards, 4 touchdowns. He had a career high, and usually when a player does that, they just only extend greater. And with the the chemistry that these guys were getting at the end of the season, there were multiple games Evan Ingram had, and I know this because I had him as my tight end in my fantasy team. Multiple games, he had over 7 receptions, 100 yards in the later half of the season during that 5 game winning streak that got him into the playoffs and ultimately into the second round. So I think securing Evan Ingram and securing that final piece of your offense. So now your offense has Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne, Evan Ingram, and you have three receivers: Christian Kirk, Calvin Ridley, and Zay Jones. This team, that's a top five offense. So I think Evan Ingram is probably that contract that needs to get negotiated the most.
All right. So I'm gonna tell you why y'all wrong. Because it's obviously Lamar Jackson. Okay, let me tell you why. Because this team has decided to give up the most valuable piece that they have. It is so astronomically detrimental to their team that he has to be the most important. Because without him, there's nothing they can do. It's all over. You might well crucify them right now up against the cross and call it the end of the Ravens. Call it right now because it's all over. Just because they're gonna put the franchise, and then they had the audacity to not. Man, come on, y'all crazy out here, man. They ain't going to put the exclusive on the man. Think he ain't gonna go get some money? Go ahead. Think he ain't? Watch him.
And see, the thing is, the relationship is dead. In my eyes, if I'm Lamar Jackson, let, let's keep it a buck. All right, without going back to the second, um, you know for a fact. Well, not for a fact. Let me put it like this: would you play on the tag? They sat you down. You and Lamar Jackson. They sat you down. Like, look, brother, 32.4 franchise tag. Here you go. Until we can figure something out. You playing on that shit?
You don't know.
I don't know, bro. That's a lot of fucking money. That's a lot of money, bro. But still,
There's
Lamar.
no way I'm playing on it, especially when y'all just gave Daniel Jones 40
but
mil.
I'm
yeah. So like,
Lamar. No,
but if
I'm
Lamar,
I'm
yeah,
Rail. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. So me as Cam, hell yeah, I'm playing on that, right?
You can pay me anything today.
But yeah, if I was Lamar, man, I mean, I don't know, bro. I'd be like, how much y'all expect me to be playing this year then?
Cause
Because this ain't enough.
No.
Geno Smith and Derek Carr's deal are somewhere in between $32 and $38 million, and um, I think Geno gets somewhere like 65, 70 guaranteed, and the same thing with Derek Carr, 60 million guaranteed. So Daniel Jones is look. We still got to look at the fine print of his contract when it comes out, but I base around 40 million a year. Nah. $32 million is the franchise tag. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make the slightest bit of sense. That relationship just seems like it's irreplaceable. It can't be fixed. So now, since they put the non-exclusive tag on them, if a team say the Panthers go out and say, you know what, we're gonna give you the money that you want, the Ravens can now either match them or give them two first round picks,
Yeah.
or match them or take two first round picks from the Panthers. I mean, so I just think that I don't know where this is going with Lamar. So and the it's still fixable with most of these other players. Maybe we gotta see. We gotta wait on that Saquon thing because they're talking about a deal could be done very soon. So, but I think since the relationship is still fixable with these other places, it just makes sense to lock up that offense that you know. Besides that Tony Pollard guy, Evan Ingram just seems like a bona fide yes. Let's do it. And the only reason I didn't pick Tony Pollard because he's coming off an injury.
Tony Pollard was my that was my original choice, and mainly because I've seen stuff about Dallas wanting to move on from Zeke, and Pollard being their guy, um, which I mean that kind of, I don't want to say it makes sense to me because I'm not a Dallas fan, but um, I mean, but I'm a football fan, and Tony Pollard had a great season this year. Aside from getting injured, but uh, I think Zeke's underperformed, at least to Dallas's expectations. He's underperformed, so I don't see, I don't see them giving him an extension. So that was my original first pick, but then, yeah, I had to see Josh Jacobs was just killing it this year.
Well, we're gonna see. Cause I'm trying to tell you, without that boy, when he gone, they gonna be crying, wishing that they had him back.
Bro, I also saw something else. Apparently, Lamar and Taysom Hill have made the exact same amount of money in the NFL. Taysom Hill, bro.
so so
You
so
think Lamar
so
know that?
he probably does. He definitely
Yeah.
does. He definitely does because it's been reported that all of the counter offers Lamar has given the Ravens have been more than that 230, and that 230 I mean Deshaun Watson's guaranteed. So if I'm Lamar and I just seen Daniel Jones get 40 mil a year, and y'all just slapped a $32 million franchise tag on me, like bro, stop playing with me, bro. Like bro, what is this? Like Daniel Jones just got top tier quarterback money.
And I'm better than him. I'm
So,
gonna go ahead.
and
I'm better than him.
did, did the Giants overpay Daniel Jones? Hell yes, they overpaid him. But
100%. Yes.
but they had to do that. They feel like
No choice.
their deal didn't stretch them for the salary cap, and it allows them to try to keep both them and Saquon. So they might have something brewing here in New York, and they can grab receivers from the draft. They just got to get the right ones. You can't take Jalen Rager if Justin Jefferson's on the board. But that that's just it just it's it's frustrating, honestly, because Lamar Jackson shouldn't have to do that. He shouldn't have to do that. But at the same time, he represents himself. So, and from what I'm gathering, that could be a tough task in itself. So, I don't. But at the same time, I don't know who better to market yourself other than yourself.
Uh, somebody who markets people for a living.
I mean, that too, that too. But like, I don't want. I can go out there and get Lamar Jackson 250 million. Hey, bro, play the highlights, man. Play the highlights, man. Unanimous MVP. He was just
Yeah,
better than everybody else.
man, when I saw that franchise tag on him, literally not even like 10 minutes later, I saw the Falcons being like, "Yeah, we not pursuing him," and I had to laugh at that shit, bro, because I was like, "Of course y'all are not gonna do this," but nah, real talk, like I had mixed feelings on. I'm kind of glad that the Falcons are not gonna pursue him, bro. I'd rather see what we can do in a draft. Um, I mean, they came out and said it last year, bro. I mean, we were rebuilding, so I'm not expecting them to come out here and win a Super Bowl this year with the Falcons. You know what I mean? I know. Give it a couple of years, we'll see where we're at, right?
I,
Uh,
I
we y'all better pray.
we'll, we can get back to that later. I think that now that the chips have fallen, I want to see what the Raiders think about this. Since the Dolphins and Falcons have withdrew their names from the pot, I want to see what the Raiders have to say about this. And if the Jets are talking to Aaron Rodgers, are talking with the Packers. Um, Maybe Lamar comes at a cheaper price. Two first round picks don't sound like that. It don't sound that bad to me if I can get Lamar Jackson.
Not at all.
You don't know.
And and getting Aaron Rodgers would cost me 60 mil unless we had talked to this man and he restructures his contract. Man, I'm gonna go holler at Lamar for about 45, 46 a year. He just want the money guaranteed. Brother, here you
Mhm.
Yep.
go.
Take it. Shit.
Take it. Because he lands on the Jets. I don't know too much. I don't know if I can say the same about the Raiders. But if he lands on the Jets, that team's a Super Bowl contender.
Yeah. one
Same
Hundred percent.
thing. Same thing with Aaron Rodgers. But it's just how the dominoes fall. So I don't know. I think that the Raiders or the Jets make the most sense. But I can see a team like the Panthers getting involved because of their new coaching. You got a guy like Frank Reich. You seen what he had and what he could do with a guy like Andrew Luck's skill set. So imagine this this guy, this dude, Lamar Jackson, with
This monster in
uh,
Lamar.
so and the Panthers have a nice run game. They have a decent defense, and but DJ Moore, I don't know if that's enough. So you need to draft right. You need wide receivers. It just
Hmm.
those are three teams to definitely be on the lookout for. We got to see what is going on with Rodgers and the Jets, but don't be surprised if you hear from the Raiders or the Panthers.
Facts. I like the Raiders. I like
But for
them.
Aaron,
And I
Yeah.
like the Raiders for
I
Lamar
like
Jackson. It
Aaron
just
too, but
I think the Raiders would fit more. Like if the Jets were to say, you know what, we're gonna pull off the Aaron Rodgers thing and let the Raiders uh, have him, and he's back with Devontae Adams. Okay, cool. All right, cool. Well, Max Crosby and Chandler Jones on the opposite side. Then, all right, but it's just that thing of playing the Chargers twice and playing the Chiefs twice.
yeah,
hmm
You're going to have to steal a game from one of those teams or both of those teams. Probably both of those teams. You have to steal one of those games. So it makes more sense to go over there with the Jets, especially with Buffalo Bills championship window looking like it's starting to shorten up a little bit. We don't know what we're gonna do with certain players on defense. Contract, they're eating up money, and then Von Miller won't be healthy till mid-season. So huh, it's a game. There's no certainty at Tua's health. Because if it starts here to itself, Miami just might be the best team in that division.
Hmm.
Yeah,
That's a fact. That's a big
So
fact.
there's no certainty at to itself. So the Jets just make the most sense because, all right, uh, if I just got to worry about the Bills, all right, I can get the Bills. Josh Allen might throw a game away. We might be able to steal one, and then the Patriots until I don't know with this whole experience with Mac Jones. I don't know if that's gonna last. So.
I don't know how long that's gonna last either. But
yeah. Personally, I would like to see Aaron Rodgers with the Raiders. I mean, he's played big games, bro. He loses a lot in the NFC Championship anyway. So playing the Chiefs and the Chargers, twice a year. If he loses them, I mean, that's fine. We're used to seeing Aaron Rodgers losing big games, right?
Yeah,
So it's fine. But nah, seeing Lamar Jackson in New York, with what the Jets are doing, I mean, yeah, that would be a really fun thing to watch.
yeah, I agree. That'd be something to watch. Shoot.
we'll see which teams give them up their offer sheet. Now remember, any team that gives up an offer sheet for Lamar Jackson brings our offer sheet to the Ravens. The Ravens can then match it, and all is well. I don't know if I would do that, but that's Lamar. Or Lamar can join that new team and they'll give up 2 first-round draft picks. Now, if the Ravens were to match that offer, would you feel like, okay, we got the deal done, or I had to get a third party involved, so it's still like y'all can kiss my
Yep. Still kiss my ass.
ass?
Welcome.
Oh.
Trying to tell you.
All right, and just like that, people, it's a wrap. That's the show we got for y'all this week. Now, we got a lot going on next week as March Madness kicks off and World Baseball Classic will be here. There's more going on with the offer sheet. Lamar Jackson, where Lamar Jackson will go. Quarterback dominoes are starting to fall. So let's get ready. Y'all know what time it is. Can I get my drum roll, please? Now, why is grass so dangerous?
Why is grass so dangerous?
Bro, I do landscaping and I don't even know this answer.
Because it's full of blades.
Shut up, bro.
I'm about to close the laptop while y'all, man.